Hi, so welcome to our online live tutorial series on Matlab. And in this tutorial series, in this today's live session, we are going to talk about functions in Matlab and how to use them. And we will also discuss different types of the functions which can be used in Matlab. Okay, and further, we are from JCBRO Labs. We provide online training, help in technical assignments. We also do freelance projects based on data science, Python, machine learning, embedded system, etc. So if you have any such requirement, then you can let us know by contacting us through our website, which is www.jcbrolabs.org, or you can also mail us at info@jcbrolabs.org. Okay, so let's start. So first thing we will discuss is what exactly the function is and why the functions are required in any programming language. Okay, so let's have a look towards that. Okay, so the thing which we are going to talk about, let's select black. Yeah, functions. So let's think about a code. You have your main code here, and there are several statements are running there: s1, s2, s3, s4, s5, s6, s7, and so on. And now let's say you want to repeat some statements like s2 and s3, and then you have s8, then again s2 and s3. So if you look at it carefully, then s2 and s3 are written here, and s2 and s3 are written here again, and s2 and s3 are written here. So these are the some of the statements which needs to be, which are going to be repeated in our code again and again. So instead of writing them again and again, what we do, we create a separate file. Okay, that separate file is known as the function. Okay, and then we write the statements here, s2 and s3. And what we do, now instead of writing this s2 and s3 here, let's say we represent this function by the name of f. So instead of these two, we write our function name here. Let's say f1, then f2, and then f3. Oh, sorry. It will be the same because the function is same here. F1 and F1. Okay. So what happens now, as the program flows, so what will happen, as soon as it encounters the function 1, the control will go over here, it will execute this function and come back here, and then start executing again, and then it finds function 1 again, it goes back there again, it executes these statements, and then come here again, and then it goes back there and then executes this function and then come back here. So this is how this entire process of the function happens. So what is the benefit of it? So one benefit is obviously like we are able to save the space in our main program. So our main program doesn't look like a very complex or very wordy program, right? And we can easily debug it, or if there is any problem, we can easily sort it out, right? So that is the very basic advantage of having these functions, right? Now let's go over MATLAB and let's see how can we do this within the MATLAB. Okay, so one more. Okay, so in coming to the MATLAB, so in MATLAB there are lots of varieties of the function. So in MATLAB, we think about the function is started with a keyword function, and then we have a return variable, right, and equals to, and then here comes the function name, and then here there are the arguments which we are going to pass within the function. Okay, now yeah, so it is not necessary that we define this return type and the argument. So function could be of different cases. So first simple cases is, let's say we create a function by the name of JCBRO. Function simple JCBRO. So it doesn't take anything as an input, and it doesn't return anything as well. Okay, so let's go to the MATLAB then. Okay, so first of all we'll change our current working folder. So right now we are working in this folder, and we highly suggest you don't change and do any change in this by making your own files and other folders. Okay, so what we'll do, we will go to this tab, and the new window will open up, and from here we'll go to our project file. Okay, so we have written all our functions where all other files have been written. Okay, we will create a new script, and within this new script we will create our first function. So let's say function JCBRO, and it is not taking anything, and let's say a equals to 10 and b equals to 20, and let's say c equals to a plus b. So we are doing some mathematical operations there, and then we are printing, okay, displaying the c as well. Okay, so let's say I write the statement this sum of a and b is, okay. So yeah, this is very important thing. Okay, let's first close it. Now this function has to be same, so I'm saving this function. So you should remember the file name should be same as that of the function, otherwise it will not run. So our function name was JCBRO, so the file name automatically coming here is as JCBRO, and then we'll save it. So JCBRO function has been created here, and if you look at it carefully, the function symbol is different in MATLAB as well. Okay, so now we will call this function within the MATLAB, and then we will see like if there is any changes into it and how to call this function. Okay, so we'll go to command window then, and within this command window we will just if we want to call it, we will type just JCBRO. Now if we want to execute the function from the command window, then that function should be in the current working folder or in the path of the MATLAB. Okay, so if I type JCBRO here and press enter, so it executes this function, and everything written here is executed, like sum of a and b is 30, right? So this was the case, like how to use function. We can also use the function through a separate file. Okay, we can call it as main file. So let's say we we will call our function from this file now. Okay, so let's say this file gives the demo of function. So first of all we will close everything and sales. Yeah, that's a good practice, you can also try it. Now we'll save it. So let's say demo function main. So we can generally call it the main file from where we are calling all the other functions. Okay, so now we are calling JCBRO. Okay, so JCBRO, simple, and it will execute the function, right? And yeah, let's run it. The sum of a and b is 30. Now if I give you like a okay, yeah, that's fine. Now we can also write like our own anything over it, like display this out of the function. or we can write like in the main file, and we will place it over here. Now if we run it, it will call in the main file, and then sum of a and b is 30. So here it is. Okay, so this was the case when we are taking no arguments and we are returning no argument, no variable as well. Okay, now coming to the second type of the function. Then the second type of the function is like this, right? So let's say here we have our function, and instead of passing anything, right, in our case it was the case no argument and no return. Okay, now in this case we will pass something. So let's say we save this function with the different name _1, and here you can pass any argument. So let's say we will be passing argument a comma b, and then we will doing some mathematical operation there inside the function, but we will not be returning any variable as well. Okay, so this function can be treated as a type like with arguments and no return type. Okay, now let's go to the Matlab. Okay, and then we will write the code for that now here. Okay, so we'll create a function. Okay, so this function takes two arguments, so we can type the definition of the function or what exactly the function is doing within the file, so that if anyone else is watching or reading this function, he or she can understand what exactly this function is going to do. So this function take two arguments and there is no return type. Okay, we'll take function with this jcbr_1 and let's say a comma b. So now in earlier jcbr function we were not taking any value and we were just returning the addition of these two. Now what we are doing, we are taking values as a sum and then we are computing their addition, and then we are simply displaying, right? Display addition of a and b is display as c. Okay, so we'll save the function. As we earlier said, we save the function with the same name of jcbr1 and then we have saved it. Okay, now we will try to call here. So now if I call it jcbro, so remember it is a case sensitive, so that's why I'm using this capital letter, because the function name is in capital letters only. So we'll call the function jcbr_1 and then we'll pass two values here. Okay, so it is 30. Now let's make it to 40. Okay, so whatever value you pass it, now it will print that particular value. Now calling this function from our main file. Okay, so now we'll type another function like calling, so jcbro_1. So what we'll do, we will take two values from the user, so we can make it more user friendly. Okay, because our ultimate target is that particular code, whatever we are writing, that code is going to be used by some user. So our objective should be to make it as user friendly as possible. So we'll take some value from the user input. So we'll type enter the value of a, and then second b equals to input, enter the value of b. Okay, and then we will call display calling jcbro_1, and then we will call our jcbro function. Okay, and then jcbro_1 and we'll passing the value of a and b. So now I am intentionally taking the same variable a and b here and a and b here as well. So you should remember the variables which we are calling or which we are creating inside the function. In memory, those variable will take a different memory location. Okay, so these variables are different than these variables a and b. So you must be aware of that. Okay, so now let's try to run it. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so it is asking the value of a is, let's say, 50, and the value of 100 or 1000, so 150, 1050. So this is how you can create a function with different different arguments type. Okay, so this leads to the next step, in which we will learn like how to create a function with different arguments and the return type. So calling a function in its entire complete form. Okay, so let's take it. Okay, so let's say function, and we will type this function by the name of jcbro underscore 2, and then it will be a comma b. Okay, okay, and then in this case, because we will be returning type, so there will be, let's say, we are writing s equals to jcbro a comma b. Okay, so now it is with argument and return type. So right now it is having both of them. Okay, so now let's go to the Matlab. Okay, I forget to show you the sheet. So here it is. This will be the syntax of the function which we are going to now right now. Okay, okay, now go to the next coding. Here it is. So we'll create a function here again. So this function, we can write it like this: function takes two arguments and return the sum of them. Okay, so function, and then let's say js equals to like jcbro underscore 2 a comma. Okay, so we'll simply type now, because this is the return type, so it should be taking the summation of these two numbers. So I should write capital S equals to a plus b. Okay, and then we will save it. So as we said, in order to save it, we'll save it with the jcbro underscore 2 name, with the same name as the function. Okay, so save it. So jcbro2 is created here. Okay, now go to the Matlab. Yeah. Okay, so now what is this? Okay, now let's call this function within the command window. Okay, so we'll write like jcbro underscore 2 10 comma 100. So you got the answer. So remember when I said like if we are not creating any variable, so as soon as we write something and it is creating some variable, so by default variable is being created, and that variable is stored with the name of answer name, right? So that is why this answer value has been created. Now let's say we want to store this value into some any other variable, so we can write like test, or let's say create another variable c equals to jcbro underscore 2 of 10 comma 150. If I press enter, and now if you look at this value of the c, so it will be 160. The sum which is being returned by this jcbro, so the return type which we are returning as, that has been assigned here. So this value will be returned when we are calling this function. So here we are calling this function, and 10 and 50 are going in A and B, and then it is returning the S. So S will come here and that will assign to the variable C. So the value of C will become 160. So now yes, so we can this was calling JCBRO, so let's say we can use the same thing, calling JCBRO underscore 2. Okay, so we'll take the same variable A and B. The only thing is like okay, we will display calling, and then let's create another variable C equals to JCBRO underscore 2 A comma B. Now there should be one thing, like this function name should not be the same as that of any inbuilt function. For example, Matlab function is sum name is there, right? And if you create another function name by the sum, then it will execute your function name sum. Okay, and in that case you may observe different kind of results, or totally different kind of results, and that may create certain problem if you are creating very large application. So you must be aware that so the function name should be different that of the different than those which are available in the Matlab. Okay, so here we have assigned the value to C and then we'll display C. Okay, so there's a difference. Here we were just calling the function, here we're calling the function and it is returning something, and then we are displaying it. So these, okay, so first let's run it. Okay, so it is asking the value of A is, let's say, 50 and the value of B 150. So this is the answer of after calling JCBR1, and this is value after calling another function JCBR. Both have given the same result, but the way they are providing you the results is different than each other. Okay, so this is about the examples of functions within the Matlab, and this is very important to understand, like the application where this function finds those application depends or vary application to application. You can use any kind of the function, but depending on the application decide like application decides like which kind of function will be suitable for that for a particular operation. Okay, so we have seen let's go further. We have seen these different kind of functions in this session, and specifically we talked about 3 different kind of functions which are available in the Matlab. You can use for variety of applications in your work or in your coding on Matlab. So I hope we will end here for today, right? And in the upcoming session, an upcoming Matlab session, we'll be talking some application and other cool stuff with it. Okay, so keep trying or keep learning Matlab. And finally, we also provide online training, help in technical assignments. We also do freelance project based on data science, Python, machine learning, embedded system, etc. So if you have any such requirement, you can let us know by contacting us through our website, which is www.jcbrolabs.org, or you can also mail us at info@jcbrolabs.org. You can also comment your queries or any suggestion below this video. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you.